guys, welcome back to my channel. This afternoon, my friend, attorney Russell Gocuan will join me virtually and share with me his experience in law school and will give us some tips on what to expect as a freshman law student. Here's my conversation with him via Zoom. I hope you enjoy it. So hi, attorney Russell. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Thank you for joining me this afternoon, ha. Let's start by you telling us something about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Attorney Russell Randall Gocuan. I am currently teaching in the Gullas Law School, teaching the subjects of criminal law 1 and 2. So a lot of you might be under me this semester. Understand this is for the freshmen, no? I graduated. I graduated from the University of San Carlos in 2016 and passed the 2016 bar exams, no? And was duly licensed in 2017. Um, I have also taught in the University of San Carlos for the Department of Accountancy, particularly for the CPA review program for the 5th years, teaching commercial law and civil law there. Uh, what else? Siguro mm,
Are you currently practicing or are you in a private practice or public?
yes. Currently, I'm in private practice. I'm also connected with the Office of Cebu City Councilor Raymond Alvin Garcia as a consultant there, of course, helping to draft ordinances, giving legal opinion for legislative matters. More or less, that's my work. In my private practice, it's more actually focused on labor law. No, also have criminal cases as well.
Thank you, Attorney Russell. Now, can you share to our freshman students the reason why you decided to enroll in law school?
Okay. So my reason for enrolling into law school was actually quite funny, no? It goes back to my first course, my pre-law course, wherein actually I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a biologist, just
Scientist?
like my mom. She was. However, when I was choosing my course for college, my mom actually discouraged me from taking up biology, which was what she took up in college. So my friends told me that why not consider being a lawyer. So I took up Bachelor of Science in Management Accountancy as my pre-law course and eventually decided to pursue law afterwards.
Thank you for sharing your story about the reason why you decided to enroll in law school, Attorney Russ. Now, did you have any expectation when you entered into law school?
Yes. So my father is actually a lawyer, no? So when I entered law school, I already prepared myself before day one that I might be the target of many of my professors. Particularly on day one, I was already the target of Dean Randy Torrigosa. He was my professor in Persons and Family Relations, and he even announced to the other faculty members that I was the son of my father. And so I felt since day one of law school that I already had a target on my back.
You felt a lot of
So
pressure then.
yes, yes. I along with attorney Kyle Alo, we were classmates for the entire duration of our law school days, and that was our usual experience. No, we were so pressured because almost all, I think, if not all, the professors knew our fathers.
Yeah, just Attorney Alo's father is also a lawyer, so you really had already a target on your back then. So, can you share with us your first day in law school? What was your first day in law school like?
First day in law school, so it was exciting. At the same time, we were nervous as well. First time to encounter our professors, no. Particularly, there was one professor that stood out on the first day. That was our constitutional law professor, um, because of what he said to us back then. What
What
he
did he say?
did
What
tell
did he
us
say?
was, we were quite shocked because he told us to observe everyone, to our front, to our back, the person to our right, the person to our left, and he ended up with saying this statement to us. No, he said, "Remember these faces, because only one out of every four of you will reach and complete law school." So we were so afraid. It was like a threat
Grabe.
already from our professor. And the same professor also gave us an exam the following meeting, and we didn't, and no one passed it. Grabe to siya na experience. No? We were
Grabe
so
na.
shocked.
So you
But
mentioned earlier that you were already prepared when you entered into law school, but were there any things that you wished you knew before entering into law school?
yes. Um, what I want, yeah, it was particularly on certain, siguro it was on more on habits. There are certain habits that that I wish I had, before entering into law school, especially certain reading habits for the cases, because that was also a very funny experience, because we thought that reading case digest was okay in first year, but we fell victim quite easily by our professors. They made sure that if we just read the digest, we would really pay for it. So since then, I shifted my learning, my study habits. Then, it was more on balancing time. Of course, you'd have to have a lot of sacrifices as well, but we should find time to balance out, no, between study and recreation, because makabuang jud ang law school.
Makabuang yun ang law school. Did you have any social life back then when you were in law school, or you gave up social life?
Okay. I think I had a different law school experience compared to my friends. No, when my friends were out drinking or partying at night, I was usually at home studying or at the fire station, because I also serve as a volunteer firefighter at the Cebu Filipino Chinese Volunteers Fire Brigade. So I had my duties and responsibilities at the fire station as well. So since I had my civic duty, um, I had close to zero social life. uh, it's kind of sad for some. They'd say na I didn't have a life back then, but I chose that because I already had a responsibility, that responsibility before entering law school, because I have been a volunteer since my college days, and I did not want to give it up because of law school.
And you were happy doing it.
Yes, I was happy. I was happy doing it.
Muna importante. Now, Attorney Ras, can you give us any tips or study methods to survive or succeed in law school?
Okay. So, sa study methods, what I really stuck to, no, was what my dad told me. The first 3 years in your law school are your foundational years. So everything there is you study your full text cases, your textbooks. The emphasis was on textbooks, because your reviewer should be reserved for when you take your fourth year or preparation for the bar exams, because that's it. They are for review, meaning you already took your first view. So we should not use the reviewers as our first view into that course, into that lesson. No. Another thing that's not really taught in law school is that you should have a support system within your friends, your classmates. It's not necessarily a competition. It doesn't matter if you'll be in the top of the class or not, because if everyone does their share to help each other, it would make the burden in law school or the law school experience easier. No, you. I believe a lot of you will hear na competition is tough, especially kana mag-hidog notes or dili mag-share of ideas. But we learned it early on. Our batch was in a sense pinasagdan man sad me. But we were lucky enough that we came together, helped each other, and that when we took the bar exam, all of us in our batch passed on our first take. So we didn't have anyone left behind. Uh, and we also had that very wonderful experience that four of our batchmates also topped the bar exams, despite nothing being expected of our batch. So kana lang, for the study habits, don't skip out on your textbooks, on your cases in the first 3 years. As much as possible, if you're really going to use reviewers, make sure it's just for your second or third view na siya. No? And always find time every day, devote it to study. This can a small portion of it if you're working, because I had a lot of friends who were working students all throughout the 4 years in law school. Even towards the bar exam, they were all working, and they always found time to study. And it helps to have that support system within your friends, your classmates, or your batch.
Now, Attorney Ras, there's this conception, or I don't know if this is a misconception, but some students who would want to enter into law school thought na it's an essential skill to have a good memory. Kailangan ba gyud mag-memorize ang isa ka law student?
Okay. With that, no, having a good memory is an advantage, but it sometimes, no, when you lack that, sometimes you can actually compensate it with effort, no, effort and determination. Uh, because sometimes it's more of understanding the lesson rather than memorizing the lesson. Uh, you could have someone here who could blurt out the law word for word, but wouldn't understand even one or single word or the spirit of that law. No, so that would also spell a difference. So I would rather have a student who would be able to uh, explain the law rather than memorize it but then understand it. No, so siguro ka na, it's better to have that skill, no, of understanding what you're reading, um, what you're trying to determine from, let's say, questions. But of course, memory helps, but it's not really a necessity. No, of course, there are times that certain provisions of the law need to be memorized because these are fundamentals, but you don't need to remember them word for word as long as you understand them. No?
How about the good command of the English language, Attorney Ras?
Yes. Kana siya, the good command of the English language is actually quite important, no? Considering that how our legal system is framed, our legal system operates using the English language as the foundational language, no, for our pleadings, Supreme Court decisions. The only time that you can see decisions in a different language is during the World War II era, wherein the Supreme Court used Spanish as the text for our decisions. But other than that, it has always been English. And a good grasp of the English language is important because a wrong word, a wrong tense could mean a world of difference, no? When you're trying to piece together the entire sentence. This is what I also tell my students, no? Especially those in first year. Uh, you have so much time to improve your English command of the English language and also your handwriting. These are equally important because in the bar exams, it could mean a whole world of difference, no? If you have a good handwriting or if you have a bad handwriting, because you can have a very good answer, but if the examiner can't read your handwriting or couldn't understand your grammar, then it might discourage the examiner from giving you the full credit. No? So, the command of the English language is important. That's why if you first years have noticed, one of the things that the registrar will look into when you enroll into law school is how many English units you have taken in college. That's actually quite important. And if you have those missing units, I say that you invest it in English subjects about grammar, about language. Some would prefer debate, but debate can actually be the fruit if you have a good command of the English language. So those are some basics that you might want to explore, if especially if you need to have those extra units to comply with the requirements for English language.
Yes, that's correct. Do you have any advice to our incoming freshman students, Attorney Ras?
Mm. Yeah, at the start of law school, no, it always starts with your dream. Uh, I hope that you would write it down. For those of you who will be under me, I will ask you to do that. Put it somewhere where you can always see it, so that when you're discouraged, you always go back to what was your objective. No, basically, you need something to help you focus. Now never lose focus when you're in law school, because remember, you decided to enroll. Might as well finish the journey, but you need to have the right tools, the right focus for it. No, because a lot might get discouraged along the way. That is normal. I don't think there has ever been a law student who was never discouraged along the journey, along the journey. So that's why you need to have something that will help you to be on track, to keep you on track, especially in those times that you feel down.
Yes. Thank you so much, Attorney Russell. Are you excited for the classes na?
Kind of excited because of this new online format that we have. No, I also hope that the students will be equally excited, but we'll see. We'll see how this school year will turn out to be.
I'm sure they are. Thank you, Attorney Ras.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. That's Attorney Russell Gocuan. Attorney Russell, thank you so much for joining me earlier and for sharing with us your experience in law school and the things that a freshman law student must expect when entering into law school. Thank you so much. Now, before I bid goodbye, allow me to send a big shout out to my friends out there. Si Brian Sariliana. Hi, Brian. To Glenda Pardillo. Thank you, Glenda, for always sharing my videos. And thank you also to Marga, to my student Antioco Tabuhara, to Efren. Hi, Efren. And to my best friend Frichi. Thank you so much for always sharing my video. I'd also like to say hi to Mr. and Mrs. Caballero, to Ma'am Presi and Sir Antonio. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and for watching my videos. I hope you are well and I hope to see you soon. So to those who have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, Darchi Wagas, and hit that notification button so that you will be notified kung naapakoy laing videos in the future. Thank you very much. Amping!